Hey guys, I just finished watching the Ultimate Girls Trip episode 1, and I have to say, I had so much fun watching that episode. And I think watching this season is very reminiscent of why we all started watching Housewives to begin with. But of course, they have all of the OGs, so of course, they know how to do it more so than anybody, so why wouldn't it be great, right? So just to get you caught up, if you don't know who's on there, you have Vicki from Orange County, you have Luann from New York, you got Porsha from Atlanta, Gizelle from Potomac, Kyle from Beverly Hills, you have Lisa from Salt Lake, and of course you have Teresa Judice from Jersey. So these are my vibes just watching this off. Okay, so first off, the ladies all meet up in OC because OC is the first stop, which makes sense because OC started it all off. So Vicki is hosting them in OC. And there's a scene where they're on the yacht and they're all talking about their most iconic moments. And Teresa, everybody of course knew Teresa is flipping the table, but then Teresa started talking about some more challenges she faced, like going to jail and so forth. And Vicki just kind of really cut her off, and she was being really aggressive, and everybody's just kind of like, See, here's my thing with Vicki. I feel like Vicki mouth gonna get her in trouble because here's what Vicki needs to realize. Vicki might be the OG champ on her franchise, okay? She might be able to handle those women with the exception of Tamara, because I feel like Tamara is probably one of the few that does go toe-to-toe with Vicki. But she got to realize she can't handle these other women the way she handled her own cast, okay? Those other women are all OGs, and most of them have strong personalities. So I feel like Vicki going to need to watch herself, especially when you're talking about Porsha, when you talk about Gizelle. And I haven't watched Salt Lake, but I feel like Lisa will give it to her too. And let's not forget Teresa. I feel like Teresa is trying to be nice. She's trying to be calm and everything. But if Vicki keep poking her, trust me, Teresa gonna give her the business. So I feel like Vicki got to calm down and realize she's at a table of her equals, okay? She's not up here and everybody else is down there like on her gas. No, ma'am. So I think Vicki is gonna have to watch herself. And I like Kyle, don't get me wrong. And Kyle has every right to be there. But if I'm going to be really honest, I don't think that Kyle is a good match for this cast. The reason why I say that is because she's kind of timid compared to everybody else. And I do feel like the other women are going to overshadow her. They're going to pretty much dominate Kyle. And when it comes to arguing, Kyle doesn't always handle that well. So if we're going to be really honest, yes, Kyle was the right choice because she was the right one to represent Beverly Hills because she's an OG. She's the last one standing, 15 years. But Beverly Hills really needed Erica to represent them because Erica's personality is enough to go toe-to-toe with the other women. And if I'm being honest, even Dorit, I feel like, can handle the other women on that cast. Maybe kind of surprise me and shake some things up, but we'll see. We'll see. So there are some moments I want to highlight from this episode. The first moment I really want to highlight was when they all were meeting in the lobby for the first time. They all had just flown into Orange County before they even got settled in. Vicki had them in the lobby. And she's giving them the breakdown of the itinerary of what they're expecting to do while they're in Orange County. And she gives everybody these gift bags. So, of course, everybody's thinking there's something nice in them. So Giselle opens up her bag and she's like, there's a clipboard in here. And then Vicki said, okay, so what do I do for a living? And everybody's like, you sell insurance. Why she put that insurance hat on and told those women, if you guys have insurance needs, you can go ahead and fill out that contact form. I'm like, girl, that thing had me cracking up. Because my thing is, you don't even know all these women. You just meeting them. Y'all ain't even gotten into the trip good. And you already trying to sell them insurance. I said, baby, if Vicki doesn't do anything else in her life, baby, she's going to sell that insurance. That scene had me cracking up. And here Lisa in the confession, she was like, okay, this is my first time meeting Vicki. But meanwhile, she want my full address, my social security, my blood type, my weight, my height. Nice to meet you too. Like, Vicki's going to Vicki, right? That had me cracking up. Tell me why Porsha had all of them twerking. Yes, I never in a million years thought that I would see Miss Kyle Richards twerking. Kyle and Vicki, Teresa, baby, they was getting it in. And I have to say, Kyle didn't do bad either. She was hanging in there with Porsha. I was like, okay. So I'm wondering if we're going to go back to a lighter side of Kyle. I will say, though, I have to give Porsha some credit. Porsha does bring the party, so I can see why she's a good member to bring to this ensemble cast because she can get everybody loose and turned up a little bit, whatever. And of course, Gizelle is going to be messy. Gizelle is clearly going to be the one that gets things started because she already got a couple things going. So when they were on the yacht, they were all talking about their franchises. And Gizelle asked Luann and Vicki, she was like, oh, so do you think that New York came along and took the shine away from Orange County? If we're going to be fair, though, she not wrong. Here's the thing. This is the way I see it where Housewives are concerned. I feel like Orange County opened the door. When Orange County came, it was like, okay, cool, this could be interesting, whatever. But I do feel like New York raised the bar when their show came out. I feel like a lot more people became more interested when New York franchise came on, because for me, the cast also too was a lot more interesting, their dynamic. But if we're gonna be really fair, Atlanta is the franchise that truly put Housewives on the map, okay? Which leads me to this. I appreciate the fact that Porsha's the last one standing, and that's why she's representing Atlanta. But I do feel like it is an injustice for Nene not to have been a part of the whole thing. And I know that later on they're going to have Nene come out during the Atlanta stop. But you can say what you want, but Nene is hands down the most iconic housewife ever. So many of her memes are popular. Nene is synonymous with Housewives, and I just don't feel like there's ever been a housewife to compete with her. But I'm going to say this, though. Nene is the most iconic housewife, but I feel like Teresa Giudice is the most transparent one. I got to give that girl props, because we have seen Teresa go through every single thing you could possibly go through in life, okay? We have seen that woman spend money. We've seen her have children. We've seen her and her husband go to jail. We've seen her go through her parents' death, okay? We've seen her go through divorce. We've seen her survive bankruptcy and work her way out of there. And we saw her get remarried. Not to mention all the drama that was going on within her family with her brother and sister-in-law. Baby, Teresa gave us everything. So I got to give my hat off to her, because when it comes to spilling tea, baby, Teresa gave us all. She gave us everything, and she did not hold back. So Teresa, I absolutely have to give her props for that, okay? So Gizelle wasn't wrong, because she also mentioned how Atlanta kind of took things over. Because like I said, she wasn't wrong, okay? But it was still messy, though, right? Because we trying to be nice, and we just getting to know these people. But that's just how Gizelle is. She going to pull it out there. So they have this 80s theme, and then they go to the quiet room. And if you watch Orange County, you know so many of their iconic moments have happened in the quiet room as far as their arguments, especially with Shannon Bedore is telling her, you effing B. We all remember that scene, right? If you watch Orange County. So they have their party there, and some of the other cast members from Orange County show up. You have Shannon show up, Tamara shows up, Heather shows up. And even Joe from season 1 of Gina from season 1 was also on this episode as well. So it was good to see her as well. So it was cool that they were a part of it. But while they were there, Vicki's giving this speech, and she's talking about how insecure she felt at one point, how Slade was making comments about her, and she had plastic surgery because of a lot of the comments he made. And then she even had this table with Gretchen and Slade's picture, and everybody's like, girl, why are we doing this? And here's my thing. I can appreciate the fact that he made her feel that way, but there's no way that I would have given him that type of energy. I wouldn't have given him that much time and attention, because at the end of the day, you're supposed to be there to celebrate 20 years of Housewives and celebrate the joy of Housewives. Why even give them that type of attention? So Luann did the right thing when she went over. It's like, girl, we're going to stop this mess. She took that picture of Slade and she broke it. She said, this is what we do. And she right. Because why are you giving them that much attention? And quite frankly, I'm kind of with Porsha. If you was going to do all that, you may as well have just invited them to come so you can just go ahead and have a face-off with them, okay? That's what she should have done if she was going to go that far. So anyway, they're all there, and Shannon kind of cracked me up with her outfit. She had this, it's almost 80s sugar outfit, and she came in with the cigarettes, so that was funny to watch. And then once again, Gizelle got to be messy, because apparently she's cool with Tamara. But if you watch Love Hotel, you know that Gizelle actually got to know Luann as well as Shannon, because Shannon was on the show there. So they're at the table together, Shannon and Tamara and Porsha as well as Gizelle. And Giselle's like, so do you guys hate each other? I'm like, girl, Gizelle just don't even care. That woman just comes out. She don't care about stirring any kind of mess with folks. And of course, they get the argument. They get to getting their feelings, because Tamara's calling her drunk again. And then Tamara telling her how she doesn't really have much, and Shannon wants everything that Tamara has. And I'm just like, girl, Tamara kind of takes Shannon through it. I did understand some of Tamara's old arguments when it came to Shannon, because Shannon did kind of just think about herself. Because I think one of Tamara's gripe was the fact that Shannon never asked about her life. It was always focused on Shannon and what Shannon was going through. But I feel like Tamara got to lay off on Shannon about her being an alcoholic. And just like Vicki tried to tell her, you got to let her deal with that. And that's the other thing about Gizelle's messiness. Because apparently when they were on the yacht, Vicki, Luann, and Gizelle were having a conversation. And during this time, Vicki is also filming Orange County the same time she's filming Ultimate Girls Trip. And she was saying how she didn't really fully trust Tamara, mainly because of the way she's treated some of the cast members, primarily Shannon. Because as you know, if you watch Orange County, you know they were the Tres Amigas. So, messy Gizelle decides to pull Tamara aside and tell her what Vicki says. So, of course, they got to have a conversation. And then Tamara's like, yeah, so, Gizelle told me that you was just talking trash about me, saying I make up lies. And Vicki's like, that's not what I said. And she was trying to say, hey, I just don't trust you. I don't like the way you treat Shannon. Tamara was like, what are you talking about? Me seeing her drinking and stuff like that. And she was like, yeah. She was like, at the end of the day, just let Shannon deal with that. And she's right. We don't need Tamara telling Shannon every 5 minutes that she's an alcoholic. Because if we're going to be really honest, Tamara does a lot of drinking too. And when Tamara drinks a lot, she gets messy and she gets loud. And she starts stirring up stuff. So she might have a problem too. In fact, Shannon has said this much. It's okay to look out for people, but at the same time, we just got to let people deal with their own stuff and just let it go. Okay? So, Vicki was saying how she doesn't really want to deal with Gizelle anymore because she felt like Gizelle's a pot stirrer. Because she was like, okay, what were you trying to accomplish by going back and telling Tamara? But from Gizelle's standpoint, Gizelle is kind of like, look, if you're going to talk about somebody, talk about them to their face. Like, why are you doing all this behind their back, especially when you know you about to film with them? Which, you know what? She's not wrong. Gizelle's not wrong for feeling how she feels because in Potomac, if you watch Potomac, they are pretty upfront, especially Gizelle. She's pretty upfront about how she feels. And even Atlanta was like that at one point. But even though she was right, that wasn't necessarily her place, though. But of course, she's messy. That's why she gets her shine. She knows how to get the ball moving and stuff. But anyway, I have to say, I really enjoyed this episode. I encourage people to watch the Ultimate Girls Trip. It seemed like it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm curious to see who they bring along the journey. They're going to make different stops at different cities. So, of course, they're stopping at Orange County. They're going to go to Beverly Hills after that. And then after that, they go to Atlanta. Then I think they go to Miami, New York. And then they're going to go to the Berkshire Mansion. So, there's a couple of things I'm curious about. I did see one of the girls from Dubai in the upcoming preview. So, I guess the Dubai cast will join them. But I also wonder about the Dallas cast. Because now, granted, they only had 3 seasons. But I am curious if they will make some appearances as well. So, it'll just be interesting to see who all shows up from Bravo. So, I'm looking forward to what the Ultimate Girls Trip has in store for us. I feel like it's going to be a fun but bumpy ride because, like I said, there's so many dominant personalities. So, I don't know, guys. I think this is going to be a fun ride. I think this is more like the Housewives that we've all grown to love. So, I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you are too. So, let me know your thoughts about the episode 1. So, I think it's going to be interesting. So, we'll have to see. If you enjoy my content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks.